What about immigration? What's your thoughts on immigration?
This is gonna like be so very liberal of me, but I genuinely don't think that we should have borders. Like very genuinely. I would rather be more uncomfortable and experience more tension in my own life. I would be willing to experience that to make our country more inhabitable for immigrants. I think I have heard a lot of conservative people just are tired of letting immigrants into this country.
Illegal
That
immigrants.
no
Illegal.
immigrant. No, they're tired of immigrants coming to this country
How do you know that? You
because I
just said
talked to them.
conservatives of all kind are just tired of all immigrants? Because
I
when I
feel like
talk illegal is the word that I hear that is used more often to describe what the part of
well,
immigration
yeah,
that
it's used
they dislike.
more often, yes. But I mean, I live here in Massachusetts where we have people coming and being sworn in constantly. And there's a lot of people who just hate the immigrants in our
Okay.
neighborhoods. We have like Haitians, we have a lot of Chinese, we have a lot of Brazilians. And the way that I've heard a lot of conservative people around here talk about them, I mean, we have a whole bunch of Haitians who are here legally. They brought them in as refugees, and we have had massive problems with people protesting outside the hotels where we are keeping them because they want to send them back. Um,
Okay.
so I mean, that's not an anomaly. I mean, it's been a really intense thing here on the East Coast. How people have treated the refugees that we've brought in. I mean, they've like stood outside where they are and protested them with signs, and then we didn't know what to do with them, and so they stuck them at the Logan Airport, and they were living in a Terminal E, for like several weeks, women and children just on the floor of the airport while people stood outside and protested them. Refugees who
Yeah.
were fleeing violence. Like, so people do have a problem with immigration, and I disagree with it. I think it showcases a really scary part of humanity when you see people trying to escape violence. On one hand, where you say this is the greatest country, everyone should want to live here, but we actually don't like the inconvenience that it would cost to make our country more available to the huddled masses yearning to breathe free. That's uncomfortable, and we don't want to sacrifice our comfortability too much for that. And it's very easy to blame everything on them now. They become scapegoats, I think, in a lot of ways.
What about the concept that you can't help others with an empty cup? Like
I don't have an
America,
empty cup.
we do. Our country is, Sophie, think of all the turmoil and just the people are struggling. I mean, I have been struggling with homelessness, and I'm a citizen of this country. We are
Not
struggling
because
with
of
home.
immigrants.
I'm
Because of
saying though
immigrants?
that if we can't eat, no, I'm saying that if we can't even take care of ourselves, how are we supposed to take care of others? Maybe this inclination that the right wing has to protect America first right now, maybe that's coming from a real place, that inclination to protect ourselves, preserve ourselves first. And so, sometimes you have to be selfish in life. This is true. Like in my recovery, it has been essential that I be selfish, that I focus on my recovery. Because if I'm not well, then I'm not in a place to help others. I can't be of service to others when I'm not well myself. And so this inclination to preserve America, to protect America, to rebuild America, to make it well again, I think that's part of what's happening there's a need to focus on America as it is right now with all its citizens that we have right now, a need to make us better, to healthier people before we can begin again helping others. And that's just the reality of life that sometimes you have to take care of yourself. When you have a lot, when you've been blessed with a lot, that's a good time to start blessing others. But when you're struggling internally, you have to take care of yourself first because you're never going to be of help service to anyone if you're struggling internally. I honestly,
We've never been more abundant. Are we struggling? Yeah. But also, I disagree very much with
no,
what you're saying.
I disagree with your assessment. I think this country
That's fine.
is in a mess internally. There's a lot of issues. There's a lot of strife. There's a lot of poverty. There are issues that we are dealing with internally that are causing ruptures and fissures in the soul of our nation. And if we don't take the time to figure those things out and solve them, we're going to crack apart, and we're not going to be helpful for anybody outside of our country.
I feel like I disagree with pretty much everything you said. And so I don't know if we'll be able to talk about it without it feeling really tense and argumentative.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to
Okay.
argue. Because I don't want to argue about it. Like I don't want to fight,
Yeah.
but or feel tension between us. I do have a very different perspective. I do think that probably yours is shaped by what you're experiencing, and so it's valid. But it's very different than what I'm experiencing, and I mean I think fundamentally I disagree almost completely, and so
Okay.
I'm just trying to think of how to talk about it in a way that doesn't feel like I'm just arguing and not being thoughtful.
Well, I think we've both espoused our viewpoints, and we can just agree to disagree. That's how these things
But
go.
I've hardly said anything. I feel like you've said quite a bit.
Okay. You talked quite. Okay, keep going.
But I don't know if I want to, because how I feel about it is really like precious to me, and
Okay.
something I've thought a lot about. And I'm not just like trying to say it to be like, yeah, well, I think you're wrong, and here's what like. I've thought a lot about it. I am exposed to a lot of immigrants here because we don't just have South American immigrants here, and I feel like those people are really precious to me too. But it's been really fascinating to interact so much with immigrants from all over and illegal immigrants from all over, and to hear their lived experience and why they came, and it's affected me big time.
All right, everyone, it is dinner time.
Dinner time.
Dinner time right now. Dinner time.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you.
Yeah.
It's not a narrative I haven't heard. It's just not one I agree with.
Okay.
So I don't know. I don't know how to talk about it in a way that feels respectful or like productive. Because I feel like you have a pretty strong opinion about what you think. I don't know that you.
No, Sophie, I respect you, and I will listen. And I'm not gonna.
I know.
I'm probably not gonna change my position, but that doesn't mean you can't share your viewpoint.
Yeah, but the way you just came back at it was like sort of offended by that. Like, no, Sophie, you need to think about this. Like, I have thought about it.
Oh well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I came across that way. I am. I truly am. I respect your opinion, Sophie. You know that, and I apologize for coming across that way. That was not my intention.
Yeah, I don't think it was. I'm just trying to gauge the situation. Like, is this going to be productive? Because if it's not productive, it's not necessarily worth discussing.
Well, I mean, this is a podcast. We're here to just talk and let we're not here to
in a productive way. No, I don't think we'll solve anything. But if there is no point of compromise or understanding, I'm not sure. Those are just discussions I stay away from. But
maybe something you have to say will help someone who's listening. I mean, maybe it's not going to help me, but maybe it'll help the audience.
Okay, so I want to just say what I believe, but I want you to understand it's not because I
know it's not
argue with you.
Yeah, all right. I will let you talk,
I mean,
and then I won't even give a rebuttal. We'll just end it with that.